Hi, I'm Tom. I'm from Germany and I'm glad to be back in the ashram because about 10 years ago, between 2013 and 2016, I've been in the old Shri Kali Ashram, spending altogether about a year. So I was very curious to be back at the new ashram here in Kovalam, new location and new setting.
So maybe, what have been your expectations coming here, also with the background that you've been at Shri Kali, and how did reality compare?
Well, actually I didn't have any expectations because, I had a fantastic time in Shri Kali, and I would even say it was a life-changing experience that have really changed everything in my complete life. So I was just eager to reconnect and sort of deepen my experience and continue learning, and didn't have really any expectations. I was just curious what's going to happen.
Nice. Very nice. So would you say there have been changes here in SKaSTA compared to Shri Kali, or would you say it's pretty much the same?
I think there are quite a number of changes, and I must say I really like them all. There was first, of course, a change in location. We were more or less in the jungle, and it was nice to be right at the beach. That was really absolutely fantastic to be out in the nature. Here, what I like in the new location is that we are really in India, and we can participate in the activities which I found mind-boggling of the local temples. And in particular, since this is a famous place for Ayurveda, it is possible to also integrate Ayurvedic treatments with us being in the ashram, and that has been very important for me because I really wanted to dive also into an Ayurvedic cure in a Panchakarma type treatment sequence.
Nice. What is your favorite thing so far?
Actually, I like it all. But if you ask me, the absolute favorite is this new edition about the Arti, this morning ritual, Arti Nasya, which we didn't have. What I also like very much and really appreciate is that we now have a quite readable textbook, the book Tantra Illuminated, and also the handouts we are given. This was not the case in the old ashram, so this was a very, very valuable addition to my mind to better understand, to also dive in more completely, and it's just giving me much more access to the philosophies which sometimes I found difficult to understand and was completely new. Now, of course, I have a little bit of a background, but the readings especially I really appreciate.
Awesome. Have there been things that you did not enjoy?
Actually, I had a bit trouble to come into the tropical climate. It took me about a week to adapt to the immense heat and moisture, and I had a diarrhea, and it was just a bit a rough ride to come in terms coming from -5 degrees in Germany to +35 or something like this. My body took some time to adapt.
How did you feel in the community?
I think it is a terrific little community here, and as always, it is quite amazing for me in communities in general, here in particular, that I kind of get the sense we are all so immensely different, and at the same time we are so immensely similar, almost the same, if you boil it down to some of the core questions.
What have been the biggest learning about yourself so far?
The biggest learning about myself is perhaps that I always thought I learned a little bit when I was in the old ashram. I absorbed, I basically wrote down every sentence that we discussed in the satsangs, and I rehearsed and looked at the notes again and even started sharing a little bit, and I thought I understand a little bit. But here I really got the impression, start from scratch and start all over again. There is so much richness in the philosophy and also in the practice that I'm almost overwhelmed. And in the first 2 weeks or so, I was about to explode because of inspirations just for getting too much.
How do you like the accommodation?
It's okay, but I must say I'm a little bit kind of sensitive for noise, and my place is really noisy, and earplugs even didn't help me very much. It's also a little bit far away from the ashram, so my point and desire would be, when I come back, I would like to live closer by the ashram in a more peaceful surrounding. That would be something that would help me a lot.
Can you explain what kind of noises? Like, is it the nature or like the street or people?
It was a mix of noises. It was, of course, being in the middle of an Indian village, the normal noises of people and their animals, dogs and chicken and all sorts of birds, and yeah, that's quite normal. But in addition, there was loudspeakers set up for the temple festival, which were more or less day and night at full speed, 100 meters away from my house. And that was the biggest challenge, together with a muezzin calling every few hours and so forth. It was just a constant carpet of noise, which for my system, being a bit noise sensitive, was partly challenging.
How do you like the food?
Food, excellent. It's traditional Indian cooking and the Indian spices. I really like it. It also helps my digestive system to harmonize more. So wonderful.
What should new students be aware of, and what advice would you give them?
Well, I was a bit surprised about the heat. I must say, I know how hot Goa can be, but this place here seems to be even hotter and more moist in terms of humidity. So I think it's good if you tell people, well, it's tropical climate, so just be prepared for that. And the other advice I would give, just come with a completely open heart and an open mind, and let yourself be shaken, and really shaken thoroughly, because the teaching is quite radical but amazing.
Awesome. How was your travel to the ashram?
It was very good. I had a nice flight experience, and it's easy, of course, to come with a taxi here, so everything was fine.
Nice. Is there anything else that you would like to share outside of those questions?
Well, I'm just very grateful to be here, and I wanted to be here only 4 weeks, and I extended for another 3 weeks, and it seems already too short, so I think I'll be back.